Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The topic of this video is Introduction to Sensations. This video will also describe the classification of sensations and will also explain a simplified mechanism of sensation. Let's start. Sensation is the conscious or subconscious awareness of changes in the external or internal environment. Typically, it involves activation of sensory receptors at the level of stimulus. The stimulus is defined as a measurable change in the environment which can stimulate a receptor. The perception is the conscious interpretation of sensations by the cerebral cortex. Perception involves the central processing of sensory stimuli into a meaningful pattern. Perception is dependent on sensation, but not all sensations are perceived. The energy form of a stimulus is called the modality. Each sensory modality is unique. There are four basic sensory modalities which include chemical, light, mechanical, and temperature modality. A sensory neuron carries information for only one sensory modality. Neurons relaying nerve impulses from mechanical modality do not transmit nerve impulses for temperature. Likewise, nerve impulses from the eyes are perceived as light, and those from the nose are perceived as chemicals. Traditionally, five basic senses are recognized, which include sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. Many scientists and philosophers argue that humans have additional senses, which include pain or nociception, temperature or thermoception, balance or equilibrioception, body awareness or proprioception, and time or chronoception. The sensations are broadly classified into three categories: somatic sensations, visceral sensations, and spatial sensations. The somatic sensations arise from stimulation of receptors present on the body surface, in the body wall, muscles, tendons, bones, joints, and connective tissues. These include sensation of touch, pain, temperature, vibration, and proprioception. Visceral sensations originate from stimulation of receptors in the viscera. Usually, receptors are located in the wall of the viscera or in the connective tissue of the viscera. The visceral organs are present in the skull, thorax, abdomen, and pelvis. Visceral sensations include pain, stretch, spasm, bloating sensation, and nausea. The spatial sensations originate in the spatial sense organs and include vision, hearing, smell, taste, and vestibular senses. These are sensed by special sensory receptors present in the eye, ear, nose, and tongue. The conscious perception of any sensation involves appreciation of at least five qualities of sensory modality at the level of the cerebral cortex. We become aware of the type of sensory modality when a stimulus is applied. For example, subjects can differentiate a tactile stimulus from a pain stimulus applied to their body. Being aware of the site of application of a stimulus is another essential part of sensory perception. It is vital for removal of an obnoxious stimulus away from the body. For example, a sharp object felt while walking bare feet. The intensity of a stimulus usually exhibits as intensity of the sensation. A gentle hand on the shoulder by a friend is acceptable, but application of sphere pressure will make you uncomfortable. The emotional component of a sensation is called the affect. The sensation that do not have emotional component is said to be neutral. The affect may be positive when it evokes pleasant emotional response, or it may be negative when it evokes unpleasant emotional response. For example, a tickle is pleasant but an itch is unpleasant. The precision with which two stimuli are noticeable is called the acuity. A person is able to notice two distinct areas of stimulation when his skin is simultaneously stimulated by two closely applied sharp objects. The sensory acuity varies with the number of receptors, the size of the body area connected to a single sensory nerve, and the size of the cortical area representing that somatic body part. For a sensation to arise, the following events typically occur. Number one, stimulation of the sensory receptor. The process of sensation begins in a sensory receptor. A given sensory receptor responds vigorously to one particular kind of stimulus. The receptor responds only weakly or not at all to other stimuli. This characteristic of the sensory receptors is known as selectivity. For stimulation, an appropriate stimulus must occur within the sensory receptor's receptive field. That is, the body region where stimulation activates the receptor and produces a response. Number two, transduction of the stimulus. A sensory receptor converts the energy in the stimulus into a graded potential, a process known as transduction. Recall that graded potentials vary in amplitude or size, depending on the strength of the stimulus and are not propagated. Watch my video to review the differences between action potentials and graded potentials. The link of the video is available in the description. Number 3, generation of nerve impulses. When a graded potential in a sensory neuron reaches threshold, it triggers one or more nerve impulses, which then propagate towards the central nervous system. Sensory neurons that conduct nerve impulses from the peripheral nervous system into the central nervous system are called the first order neurons. Number 4, integration of sensory input. A particular region of the central nervous system receives and integrates or processes the sensory nerve impulses. Conscious sensations or perceptions are integrated in the cerebral cortex. You seem to see with your eyes, hear with your ears, and feel pain in an injured part of your body because sensory impulses from each part of the body arrive in a specific region of the cerebral cortex. This specific region of the cerebral cortex then interprets the sensation as coming from the stimulated sensory receptors. Thanks for watching and listening. Do share this video with your friends and colleagues. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel for watching more videos.